Yo, look, you gotta shoot these guys.
I know, man. Hey, let me take a picture. Hey, let me take a photo of you guys on the bikes. Yeah, I'm gonna come over this way. Cool, I'm gonna take it from right here.
What's up, folks? How you doing? My name is Karl. Welcome back to the channel. Today's a little bit of a different one. A couple of weeks ago, I was in San Francisco. I met up with my buddy Brandin Ruffin, and he took me around the streets of Oakland shooting some beautiful street portrait photographs. I just left the camera rolling. I wanted to use this opportunity to kind of show you how people take those really epic street portrait photographs, and hopefully you can learn something from it as well. Let's jump into it.
So the things I think are best for building confidence when talking to people and coming in contact with folks on the street, and especially with street portraiture, is practice. The confidence only comes from you doing it a lot. You know, some people are going to be able to do that more natural than others, but photography is all about, you know, practicing your communication skills, practicing being interested in other people, you know, and really people will sense if you're not really interested in them. As possible, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's your name, man?
Quentin.
Okay. Again, Brandon, man. I won't take up too much of your time. You're a man on a mission. Here, let me get you to come step this way real quick. Where you from?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. What part?
The west side of Atlanta.
Okay.
Compton Road, Cascade Road.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Nah, man. It's
you know, one of the things I always try to do is give the person I want to get a photograph from, like, my genuine self, and then usually I get that back in the photo. You know, when I'm on the street looking for a subject to photograph, one of the things I'm looking for is just a story. Some people are walking around and their story is like leaking out of them, you know, like they have a aura around them. Maybe it's something they're wearing, a physical characteristic. You know, for me, like I love tattoos. I love the art of tattooing. I love people walking around with these, you know, these parts of their internal being, like walking around with them on the exterior. So I love tattoos. So if I see someone with a tattoo, or especially like face tattoos, neck tattoos, I get drawn into that. Scars have stories. Growing up with, you know, something like vitiligo has a story, especially if it's made its way to your face. And just trying to get to those stories that those people have, enriching, you know, I feel it enriches me as a human being. And then as I try to tell those stories to the rest of the world, that it will enrich their lives, and building this understanding that there's a large amount of commonality between human beings, no matter what, you know, socioeconomic class they're from, what race they're from, or religion they're from, you know, that they practice. That there's a whole lot of things similar about the stories that we're carrying collectively. The learning lesson I've gotten from photographing people, photographing other people, and photographing strangers, you know, is that life is what you make it, right? And so the period of time that I really got into street portraiture, I was going through like really bad anxiety, really bad depression. I had found one of my cousins who had been murdered. I found him in this project alleyway. And he just led me into a really harsh place internally. And so I didn't really want to go a lot of places. I wasn't trying to do a lot of things. But going out and photographing and talking to strangers actually was a really therapeutic experience. I was talking to these people, and they had no expectations of me. You know, I felt like at the time my family had an expectation. They were like worried about me, like, because I didn't feel like I was reacting the way they thought I should react, or maybe I was like very quiet about things, so they were like concerned. Like, I felt like everyone was anticipating a reaction from me. I would go and be out in the streets with these strangers, and they didn't know anything about what I was going through, and so I could interact with people with no expectation of like how I should feel or how I should be. It was good. Like, I was able to then hear their stories. It's people who had, you know, gone through similar things, or things that were even worse, like the death of a child, or, you know, struggling with substance abuse and things like that. Folks that have been incarcerated, people who have been homeless for a long time, you know, and so, or how they prioritize happiness. You know, what things do we need to be happy? What things do we find to be truly important to bring that happiness to ourselves? I found a lot of people who were in some real dire like straits, and they were happy. They were appreciative for what they had. So from what I took from that was just, like, if I want to be depressed and I want to
be walking around not wanting to do anything, and if I want to shut down, I can, or I can be the commander of my destiny and really go out there and live my life, and that's what I did. And so I think that was my biggest lesson through photographing people was life is what you make it. My name is Brandin Ruffin. I'm a photographer and filmmaker from Richmond, California, and I want you to know that you can do anything that you decide to do.